Hello everyone, and welcome back to my playthrough for Digimon World 2003. And I have a vague recollection of there being an item. Okay, I already collected that one, it seems. So we're on our way back to the east sector to the protocol ruins in search of Baronmon, in search for a bomb that can enable us to obtain the Digi-Egg that enables us to summon, to call Submarimon, who can then get us across the waters, which is a very handy ability that's going to be used frequently throughout this game. But at the moment, the most important thing about it is the fact that it's our only way of getting to the west sector. And I explained in the previous part that I'm probably, pretty much definitely not going to be going to the west sector anytime soon, because I'm gonna have to do a lot of grinding in order to get myself ready for the sort of battles that I'm going to be up against. And I want to pretty much need to continue until I can load Cold Slash. Load it so that other Digimon can use it. I've already learnt to load Burn Slash, but that's not really going to be useful for grinding against Shoutmon. Cold Slash is going to be the key technique there. And I can use Cold Slash with Greymon, so that I should be able to take down Shoutmon relatively easily. And I will need to keep Dinohumon as well, because he's got Small Hill loaded, which is going to be mandatory for keeping Greymon alive, because I'm sure I'm going to be getting attacked frequently by Shoutmon. Get Greymon up to level 40, learn the Digivolution of Metal Greymon, get Greymon up to level 50, maybe not learn the Digivolution of Skull Greymon there and then on the spot, but unlock the ability to learn the Digivolution of Skull Greymon should my darkness tolerance reach 140. And here comes the slightly complicated part, because the plan is to learn the Digivolution of Metal Greymon, not because Metal Greymon is of any use as such, because he's not really, but because if I get Metal Greymon up to level 99, I then learn the Digivolution of War Greymon, who can learn some very powerful fire techniques. The most significant would probably be Giga Fire. However, if I level up Skull Greymon, I don't consider Skull Greymon to be of any use to me in this challenge, neither Skull Greymon nor Metal Greymon, but getting Skull Greymon up to level 99 results in you learning the Digivolution of Black War Greymon, who is different to War Greymon, but War Greymon and Black War Greymon can both learn Giga Fire, which is the ultimate move that I'm after. Okay, I've got my bomb. So yeah, they'll both learn Giga Fire, and not only that, but Black War Greymon can learn Fire Field, which I think temporarily makes fire attacks more effective, and I think it weakens the effects of one other like element type, possibly water, maybe ice. So War Greymon's useful, but then Black War Greymon is useful too. To be honest, probably more useful than War Greymon. And then there's the question of if I'm able to learn the Digivolution of Skull Greymon and then Black War Greymon, it kind of invalidates any purpose of learning the Digivolution of Metal Greymon and then War Greymon. So the point I'm getting at is that I think it would be fantastic if I could learn the Digivolution of Skull Greymon pretty much straight away, so I can then learn the Digivolution of Black War Greymon, completely forget about Metal Greymon and War Greymon, because that will effectively be invalid, just a waste of time, and by not bothering with them I can focus on developing other Digimon who are going to be of use. But then if my darkness doesn't reach 140 by then I'm left with a question of what exactly do I do now? It's like, sure, I could start grinding with Metal Greymon, but then whatever progress I make with Metal Greymon and potentially War Greymon would be utterly worthless if my darkness then reaches 140 and I then learn the Digivolution of Skull Greymon. If it's impossible for my darkness to reach 140, then I'm going to have to settle with War Greymon. There's no beating around the bush on that one. So, well, that's that explained. And the other thing is that before I go to the west sector, I think I'm going to need Mega Hill, because when I'm going up against more powerful Digimon, I don't think Small Hill is going to be adequate, certainly not during battles. So I'm thinking that before I go to the west sector, I'm going to want to have Mega Hill, and requiring Mega Hill creates a whole new problem, and leaves me needing to do a completely different set of grinding, because I know that when Kotemon reaches level 40, I learn the Digivolution of Guardian Angemon, who can learn and load Mega Hill. But that's going to take quite a bit of time. And other than Mega Hill, I don't actually consider Guardian Angemon to be that good a Digimon. I mean, sure, there's Burn Slash and Cold Slash, but then I've already got that. There's Hammer Rush, which I don't think is very good. There's Pinpoint Shot, which I don't think is very good. Signature Technique, I don't think is very good. Mega Heal's pretty much the only technique that's of value, but it kind of feels like a potentially a waste of time grinding with Guardian Armgemon solely in the interest of learning Mega Heal and leaving it at that, because there's other Digimon that can learn Mega Heal, and if I can learn Mega Heal with other Digimon, it kind of defeats any purpose of grinding with Guardian Armgemon, as he would effectively be a waste of time, just like Metal Greymon and War Greymon. Okay, I now have the ability to core Submarimon. But then there's obviously the question of where's Mega Heal going to come from? Well, from looking through Digivolution lists online and technique lists, guides, whatever you want to call it, it would look like the next best way of learning Mega Heal would be via Imperialdramon. Because he learns Mega Heal very early on and can load it very early on. But then that's going to take time, because I need to learn the Digivolution of Stingmon. In order to get Imperialdramon, I need to get Pyaldramon. And in order to get him, I need to get Stingmon up to level 5, and that's the only requirement, as I've already got XVmon up to level 5. But for me to get Stingmon, I have to get Guardian Armgemon up to a certain level, and for that to be possible, I have to get Kotemon up to level 40. So you can see there's a lot of possibilities open to me, there's a lot of things that I could do. But it's all a bit of a mess, like trying to decide what to do. Because there's like, I would love to learn the Digivolution of Skull Greymon, but then there's the darkness implications I mentioned. Metal Greymon and War Greymon are effectively useless if I definitely can get Skull Greymon and Black War Greymon. And then Guardian Armgemon is potentially useless if I can get Stingmon, Pyaldramon, Imperialdramon, but then this is all going to take an awful lot of time, an awful lot of grinding, and it's just going to be very tricky for me to know exactly what to do and how to do it. Because I know the initial plan obviously is to learn to load Cold Slash and then get Greymon up to level 50. But then I'm worried that I'm then going to be in a position where I haven't really got an obvious next plan, because I won't be at level 40, which rules out Guardian Armgemon, and also I won't be well, I won't have enough darkness for Skull Greymon, which rules out Skull Greymon. And it's like, wow, I could grind Metal Greymon to learn War Greymon, and, you know, something to do until getting up to level 40, but then if I then learn the Digivolution of Skull Greymon, it's all been a waste of time anyway. I'm in a bit of a pickle. I'm just gonna have to load Cold Slash, and grind with Greymon, and then when I'm physically there in that position, when it physically comes down to the crunch, I'm then going to have to, you know, decide what to do next. But grinding is what I have ahead of me. I'm going to be grinding on Xiaomon. I'm going to be grinding on Xiaomon at the South Cape. You've seen me do it before, you know what I'm going to be doing. So I don't really think I need to include the grinding. So I'm hoping that when I see you in a moment, because obviously this part, there's still time to add to this part, and I'm hoping that when you next see me, which for you will be in a moment, but for me it will be much longer, hopefully I would have a well-structured plan. But until then, I'll just need to be cutting here. So I've done the grinding that I have believed is necessary to do before heading on over to the west sector, and you may be surprised to see that Kotemon is at level 47, which is 26 levels higher, I think, so more than double. But I can assure you it was all necessary and all had to be done. So I've got 8 water chips that were dropped by Xiaomon. I've got 41 of these boosters from accidentally battling Cardmon. That must show how much grinding I've had to do. And then I've got 3 of these like rare booster packs. Weapons, it's just the old wand and old claw. No armours. I've got a dance feather that was dropped by a Numamon. I'll explain that in a little bit. And I've got a wind power, which I think was dropped from a random Apemon. Important items. So status, you can see 99 TP points, and you can also see that I've got no weapons, no armours, and no accessories. So if I just come away from that, and if I go to Wizardmon just to sell the unwanted items that have piled up, and then I can go to Pixiemon to show you all of my Digivolutions. So 8 water chips. The money is probably not going to be a great deal of use, but it's just nice to have a clear inventory since I'm not allowed to use any of the items. So if I just show you where I got up to. So when I ended, well no, when you saw me earlier in this part, Kayakimon was just shy of level 80, somewhere in the 70s I think. And then, as you know, I started grinding against Xiaomon until level 80. That's when I was able to load Cold Slash. And then after being able to load Cold Slash, I think I then put Greymon in and got him up to level 50, where I learned the Digivolution of Metal Greymon, but didn't immediately learn the Digivolution of Skull Greymon. But seeing as I didn't really have much choice other than to go with Metal Greymon, that's what I did. And with Metal Greymon, I went as far as level 96 before Kotemon leveled up, and then Skull Greymon I learned the Digivolution of. Got him up to level 99 and learned the Digivolution of Black War Greymon, who is at level 1, hasn't been used yet. At some stage I also randomly learned the Digivolution of Metal Mumamon, but that is completely pointless, I'm not going to be using him. And then before learning the Digivolution of Black War Greymon, my Kotemon reached level 40, which unlocked Guardian Angemon. I got him up to level 10, which learned the Digivolution of Stingmon. Got him up to level 5, which learned the Digivolution of Pyaldramon. And I got him up to level 50, which then led to Imperialdramon. I've got him up to level 15, where I've learned Mega Heal, and I can now load it. So I've got Black War Greymon, who I'm currently fighting with, and I plan to max him out. Get to level 99, learn all his techniques and stuff. And to assist, I've got Kayakimon with Burn Slash and Cold Slash loaded, and he's got Blade Twister as well, should I need him. And then Imperialdramon with Mega Heal, so I've got a very handy healing technique. Because of that, I no longer have a use for Dino Humon, because Heat Cutter replaced by Burn Slash, Frost Cutter replaced by Cold Slash, S'more Heal replaced by Mega Heal, Lizard Dance replaced by Blade Twister. Greymon's usefulness is over, and the same with Metal Greymon and Skull Greymon. I'm not sure about Guardian Angemon. But yeah, that's how my Digivolutions are. And I suppose I should also open up those card boosters. Don't be buying cards. Open booster. Okay, so all of the grinding was done against Xiaomon. Xiaomon was the grind Digimon, the target Digimon. When I had got Greymon up to level 50, my darkness wasn't high enough for Skull Greymon, but I didn't really have any Digimon to grind on other than Metal Greymon. And since I eventually learned the Digivolution of Skull Greymon, it does kind of make Metal Greymon completely, invalid, and it's a shame that I went so far with him. But I was just kind of in the mindset of, well, worst case scenario, what if I'm unable to get Skull Greymon? What if, what if it's in the mechanics where my darkness won't be high enough and I can't get Skull Greymon? I just thought, well, I suppose I should, level up Metal Greymon, unlock War Greymon, and, and then, level up War Greymon, just in case, worst case scenario, I'm unable to unlock you know, Skull Greymon and Black War Greymon, I thought, well, just go with Metal Greymon and War Greymon in case they're needed. Yeah, obviously I learned the Digivolution of Skull Greymon before I maxed out Metal Greymon. Although I did learn Rise in Fire with Metal Greymon, and the reason why I had a Dance Feather was because I did go to the Jungle Shrine to see how I would do against the Numamon in there, who drop 222 experience points, which is more than double what you get for Shaomon. Because with Metal Greymon I loaded Rise in Fire, and then I put Skull Greymon in to see how he would do against the Numamon using Rise in Fire. But it didn't go that well. I did defeat, I did defeat a few Numamon, but it didn't really go that well. And I decided to go back to using Shaomon, and that's the reason why I had that one Dance Feather, because I did try using Numamon as the Digimon to grind on, but it didn't really work out. And I think I was grinding on Skull Greymon when I randomly learned the Digivolution of Metal Mermaidmon, but training, leveling him up is completely pointless because I won't have enough machine tolerance to learn the Digivolution of Metal Garulamon. And I think it was also while I was grinding on Skull Greymon when Kotemon reached level 40 and I learned the Digivolution of Guardian Angemon. And with Guardian Angemon I've only gone as far as I needed to in order to learn the Digivolution of Stingmon and thus Pyaldramon. I may be done with Guardian Angemon because I really don't rate him that much. I think Kotemon is the best rookie Digimon, and I think he's excellent at champion level and ultimate level, but his mega level, his mega form, Guardian Angemon, I think is just a bit of a letdown, really. I don't think Guardian Angemon is that good at all. I think his signature technique, Golden Ripper, whatever it's called, I think that is much worse than... I don't think Golden Ripper is anywhere near as good as Blade Twister. Burn Slash I already have. Cold Slash I already have. I think Guardian Angemon can also learn Hammer Rush and Pinpoint Shot, which I don't think I ever use. Mega Heal, wow, I've got that from Imperialdramon. And then Golden Ripper, I've already said that I really don't rate that at all, so I might be done with Guardian Angemon, because had I grinded with him, then the main objective would have been to learn and load Mega Heal, but with Imperialdramon I've already got that, and I got it much sooner, and with Imperialdramon I'm gonna learn other techniques as well, far more useful ones, and I could see that really leading somewhere useful, but at the moment I'm just going to be using Black War Greymon, and the plan is to just continually use him until he gets to level 99, and after that then use Imperialdramon, because I want to secure Black War Greymon's techniques like Gigafire and Fire Field before, you know, before using Imperialdramon and then Imperialdramon Fighter Mode. And I think the time that I've been recording for has probably brought this part to an end, so I've made it to the west sector and I'll be stopping here. And I thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next part.